Lois has always been one of the more rational members of the Griffin family, always making sure that no one does anything stupid or gets hurt.
Peter, put that knife down.
However, a lot of that has to do with the fact that she is around complete idiots most of the time.
I bought a horse!
Although, there have been times when Lois Griffin did some awful stuff and started acting downright crazy. From petty theft to borderline insanity, in today's video we'll be counting down our picks for the top 5 worst things that Lois Griffin has done that make her a horrible person.
You are twisted, lady!
Number 5. Constantly taking advantage of Peter. Lois seems to have married Peter because she genuinely loves him, something that many of us might have trouble wrapping our heads around since it isn't clear what she sees in him.
I love you.
Why?
Maybe I like fat guys.
You do?
However, that doesn't stop Lois from taking advantage of Peter for her own personal gain, even if it means causing harm to him. Not to mention she hasn't shied away from beating the crap out of him either.
You're a stupid man!
Stop it! Stop it, Lois!
For instance, in one episode, Lois was discussing with some of her friends her intimate life with Peter, and she talks about how Peter doesn't always, well, let's just let Lois explain.
He doesn't always go to laying down under. Oh.
To work this out, both Lois and Peter go to a therapist who recommends hypnosis, where Peter completely zones out thinking he's on a beach licking a vanilla ice cream cone when he's actually, as Lois would put it,
Munchausen, my proxy.
This might seem like a win-win for Lois and Peter, but there's one big problem. The trigger phrase that gets Peter hypnotized is a sound effect from a celebrity news show. Later that day, Lois visits her parents with Peter, and while having dinner, she asks him to take a plate of food up to her mother's bedroom. However, what she didn't realize at the time that her mother was watching, you guessed it, celebrity news. Peter gets deeply traumatized after realizing what he was hypnotized into doing. And shares an awkward and quiet car ride home with Lois. And that wasn't even the first time Lois tried to take advantage of Peter. One time, she went so far that Peter ended up getting alcohol poisoning because of her.
There you go. Get it all out.
Now, we all know that Peter loves his beer.
Have you been drinking?
Why, yes, I have, thank you.
But what we don't know is that he practically turns into Beethoven when he's drunk. Once Lois hears him play, she realizes she can use him to win a piano competition and finally rub it in her rival, Alexis Radcliffe's face. Showing complete disregard for her husband's health, Lois starts giving him enough beer that he stays drunk and keeps practicing playing the piano until the competition. While Peter did win the competition, he drank so much that he destroyed almost all of his brain cells.
I'm the only brain cell left.
As for Lois, she showed us exactly what lengths she would go to get what she wanted. Number 4. Getting rid of everything, even her family. After reading Trisha's Takanawa's book, Throw It Away, Lois gets inspired to declutter her house.
If it doesn't kindle joy, throw it away.
While everyone else in the family tries their best to get on board, it's pretty clear they aren't thrilled about this new obsession Lois just adopted.
I'm not getting rid of my ribbons!
At first, Lois starts with stuff she really doesn't need, but sticking to tradition, she takes it one step further, crossing the line of insanity.
I love it. Perfect.
Remember that principle Lois read about in Trisha Takanawa's book, which stated that if something didn't kindle joy, you must get rid of it? Well, there's one slight problem with that. Given the right circumstances, things that don't kindle joy might also include one or more of her family members.
Peter, you don't kindle joy.
And when you guessed it, Lois eventually figured that out, but instead of dealing with it like a normal person and realizing that what she read in the book should be taken with a grain of salt, she kicks Peter out.
Lois might be starting to lose it.
Now that she's reached the point of no return, Lois gets rid of Brian, all her children, and literally everything else until she's left with nothing but the plain white walls in her house.
Well, that does it. I got rid of all the clutter. I made order out of chaos, and it's beautiful.
Still feeling unsatisfied even after getting rid of everything, Lois runs away to clear her head, and after nearly falling to her death, she has a mental breakdown.
I'm fine! Garbage is wonderful!
Fortunately, this meltdown helped her let go of her minimalism obsession, and everything returned back to normal. But the fact that she would go to such extremes just because she found something interesting in one book is kind of unsettling.
I definitely went overboard.
Number 3. Nearly drowning Stewie. There was one time when Lois went so far that she nearly drowned Stewie, all because she was going through withdrawal symptoms from her drug addiction.
I just wanted the pill.
Now you might be wondering how drug addiction leads to that. Well, it all starts with one pain relief pill, which was enough to turn rational Lois into a drug-addicted lunatic Lois. Before she could take the second pill, Brian swallows it, since it was prescribed for him in the first place, and out of desperation she runs towards the bathroom cabinet, hoping to find at least one pill, which she eventually does, but it falls into the toilet. Can you guess what Lois did when her hands didn't reach the pill?
Oh my god, my hand's too big, it won't fit.
Well, she shoves poor Stewie down the toilet, nearly drowning him in the process.
Ah, damn you! Then there That was too much!
Well, he didn't drown, thanks to Brian, but he did get traumatized, possibly for life. Number 2, trying to hide Stewie's fatal injury. Getting the short end of the stick has been a running theme throughout the series for Meg. However, she's not the only one Lois neglected. Stewie has also been a victim of his mother's craziness. After accidentally pushing Stewie from the stairs, which left him severely injured, Meg and Chris decided to hide it from their parents instead of taking Stewie to the hospital.
Well, I'm off to buy imaginary groceries.
Do you think he's okay?
When Peter finds out, he actually sides with Meg and Chris and goes 2 steps further to prevent Lois from finding out.
Good, Chris. I need these by 4 o'clock.
You'd probably think that Lois would immediately take Stewie to the hospital if she found out, but this is a video about the crazy side of Lois. To blame everything on Lois, Peter literally throws Stewie under the car as Lois is reversing it out of the driveway, and Lois ends up running over Stewie. But to Peter's surprise, Lois almost does the same thing to Peter when he found out about the injury.
Oh no! He's unconscious!
Let's go to the hospital.
Yep, that's right, folks. She's just as insane as the rest of the family. Thankfully, Peter, of all people, acts as the sensible one and takes Stewie to the hospital. Number 1, putting a worker in a coma and kidnapping. After trying just about everything to become a customer of the week of her favorite coffee shop, Lois didn't get picked. Lois decides to take matters in her own hands on how to handle this situation. Lois decides to poison one of the employees from the coffee shop with allergies. With allergies, come to the rescue once they get an allergic reaction and appear as a life-saving hero.
Yes, hero. I'll be a hero, and then they'll have to make me customer of the week.
Well, that seems like a solid plan. What could go wrong?
Oh, shaving cream. Oh, shaving cream. Oh, shaving cream. Oh, good. Oh, shaving cream.
Well, Lois sure didn't see that coming, but it doesn't end here either. Just when she thought things couldn't get any worse, one of the employees, Kyle H., looked at the surveillance tape and found out that Lois was the one who caused all of this. But Lois has a plan to take care of Kyle, too.
Put the phone down, Kyle H.
Can you guess what it is? Well, folks, it's kidnapping. And when Kyle's friends got suspicious, she tied them up in their apartment too. Luckily, she eventually gets caught and arrested.
I'm a good person, Joe.
And there you go, that's it for today, folks. What did you think was the worst thing that Lois Griffin has done, and would you like to see a part 2?